welcome around here. How's it going? We got 2 pizzas.
When we talked about fair wages and we talk about the need for a fair wage, it is so real. Tipped work. In the federal tipped minimum wage is $2.13 an hour. That is unacceptable. Any job that pays $2.13 an hour is not a job. It's indentured servitude.
I think most people are aware that for the last 40 years, the middle class of our country has been in decline. That in Vermont and all over this country, we have people working 2 or 3 jobs. We have people working 50, 60, 70 hours a week just to put food on the table, just to make sure that their families can live with a modicum of dignity. And the reason for all of that is that wages in the United States of America are just too low. And the time is long overdue for us to raise the minimum wage, which is now at the federal level $7.25 an hour, which I think under any definition is a starvation wage. We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, and what we are here today to say is that living wage is $15 an hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the political vigilante, Graham Elwood. Hi, Graham.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
We're going to be talking about the minimum wage today. You know, they raised the minimum wage in Seattle back in 2015, and that's bad because it hurts Amazon's profits. How's Jeff Bezos going to get enough money to go to Saturn if we raise the minimum wage in Seattle?
Jimmy, do you think it's easy to fly around in a $75 million Gulfstream? Do you think that's an easy job to have?
You get dehydrated.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, and honestly, I'm really tired of everyone attacking these tech billionaires. Who's gonna pay for the polo horses, Jimmy?
Right?
They just feed themselves polo horses?
And then you go, wow, look at that emaciated polo pony.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, thank you, McDonald's worker.
Yeah. Everyone went after Elizabeth DeVos for having 10 yachts. So you're trying to tell me, you're going to look me in the eye and tell me you're going to take the same yacht to the Caribbean that you take to the south of France? Are we animals? Are we animals?
All right. This is from the USA Today. So in 2014, Seattle City Council passed a minimum wage, 15. So here's what it said it was going to do. It would increase from $9.47 to $11 per hour in 2015. And to $13 an hour in 2016, according to the report. Under the law, businesses must raise minimum wage to $15 for all workers by 2021. And if you had a big company like McDonald's or Burger King or something, you had to institute that within 2 years. So if you were a small business owner, they give you a few more years to implement the $15 minimum wage. But by the 2021, everybody had to be up to $15. And of course, everybody said, even though all the academic literature shows that the minimum wage doesn't cost any jobs and doesn't hurt the economy. In fact, it shows the opposite. Headlines like this immediately started showing up. Seattle's $15 minimum wage may be hurting workers. Report finds. So there was a study from the University of Washington. One study that said, which was funded in part by the city of Seattle, found that the workers clocked 9% fewer hours on average and earned $125 less each month after the most recent increase.
I've got a new report, and it's from the American Enterprise Institute. It says, in Seattle, the minimum wage hike went to $11 an hour in April. That was April of this year. Seattle goes to $11 an hour. What happened in May? The worst decline in restaurant employment in Seattle since the Great Recession. They lost 1,000 jobs in May.
Teddy Roosevelt 2019 knows they're cherry picking the data here in this Fox News American Enterprise report or whatever it's called. I know that for most businesses who hire part-time workers, May is the month when you have the lowest number of workers working for you. In May, college kids go back home, and high school students tell you unexpectedly they're going to quit because they found a full-time job for the summer. Every May, I had 4 to 7 students drop off my payroll, which was 8 to 10% of my payroll disappeared in May. Now, the study says 1,000 jobs disappeared in May off the payrolls, and the American Enterprise Institute is freaking out over that fact. Well, 1,000 jobs dropping off the payroll in restaurants and bars, 1,000 jobs dropping off the payroll in a labor market of over 100,000 workers. That's like 1% or less than 1%. So in the grand scheme of life, that's no big deal. Why is Fox News so hysterical about this fact, and why are they reporting this as news?
I've got a new report, and it's from the American Enterprise Institute.
So I typed into Google, who exactly is the American Enterprise Institute? And I added to my search query, Koch brothers. And it said David Koch is one of American Enterprise Institute's National Council ambassadors. And this story is about how the American Enterprise Institute, via the Koch brothers, Charles Koch and his brother have expressed a newfound interest in the president of the American Enterprise Institute. The Koch brothers are in the top 10 wealthiest people in the world. I don't know exactly where they rank, but they're multi-billionaires. And if I click on the Slate story, why are the Kochs investing in happiness? June 25th of 2014, and it's all about how the Koch brothers are backing Arthur C. Brooks for president of the American Enterprise Institute, and they're all about trying to find a way to express their interest in well-being. So there it is, folks, the American Enterprise Institute that bought you that bogus study about jobs out in Seattle are founded by the Koch brothers, two of America's leading billionaires. Nice.
This was all from 2015, based on some bogus study from Washington University. And here's a recent article. This is from October 24th, 2018, and it's from Bloomberg, and it says what minimum wage folks got wrong about Seattle. An initial study said that the increase to $15 would cost workers jobs and hours. That didn't happen. Well, despite the dire forecasts, not only were new restaurants not closing, they were, in fact, opening. Employment in food services and drinking establishments has soared in Seattle, as the chart below shows. Here's the chart. This is Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue, Washington, food service and drinking place employment. It goes all the way back from 1990, and it's almost there's a little dip here during the recession. Employment went down for those people, but it's been a straight frickin' line ever since, and it's now peaking. So this is 2018 data. There's no dip. Where's the dip in 2015? There's no dip in employment. It just kept going straight up. So, and that the source for this is the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. So the employment keeps going up. Over 150,000 people in the service and drinking place establishment employment in Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue. 150,000 people. That's up from a little over 100. Looks like about 110 in 2010. So that's a straight line. So much of the hand-wringing was based upon a deeply flawed University of Washington study. As we noted in 2017, the study's fatal flaw was that its analysis excluded large multi-state businesses with more than one location. Why the F would you do that? So you know what that means? That means that a University of Washington study excluded fast food places like McDonald's and Burger King. They excluded them because they are a multi-state business with more than one location. Why they decided to do that, I have no idea, but that's where all this BS came from.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy. There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat. There is nothing wrong with driving the buses that take your family to work. There is nothing wrong with being a working person in the United States of America, and there is everything dignified about it. I, in fact, am encouraged when people remind the country of my past, not because of anything about my story, but because it communicates that if I could work in a restaurant and become a member of the United States Congress, so can you. So can you. What we need to do in radically deep problems is propose radically visionary solutions.
And the time is long overdue for us to raise the minimum wage, which is now at the federal level $7.25 an hour, is that living wage is $15 an hour.